All right, boys, we're back. Video number 5. In the last video, I think we left off on me getting the independent front suspension all welded in, got the motor mounts all welded in, all of that's buttoned up, looks nice, looks good. And in this video, we will be painting the front half of the frame. Yeah, I ended up going with a product called POR-15. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with it. It's primarily known as a rust inhibitor or rust killer, but I ended up using it to paint the frame. In hindsight, I don't know if that was really the move. I don't think you're supposed to use it on a bare frame, but I did, and yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it, so I'm not upset about that at all. But that's what I did. Ended up going with a gray, which is nice. I don't know, it's something different than the standard black or brown rust color. You know, every so often you catch a little peek of the frame, and it's nice to see something other than black, in my opinion. So that's what I ended up doing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. It's just kind of me going step by step on how to do the process, and I don't know, maybe you'll find a tip from it or something, and it'll help you in your project. So yeah, enjoy the video. All right, so here we are. The frame is 100% done being cleaned as far as the metal work and whatnot. The upper shock mounts are in, the motor mounts are in. The frame's completely cleaned as far as metal, as clean as it's gonna get anyways. I welded in all the holes. These turned out great. You can barely see them anymore. There's a ton of holes on each side. Those are all done. I ended up welding this. This right here was cracked. Had two really large cracks going up the side, and it was kind of bent, so I straightened that all out, painted it. I'm gonna be doing the same up here to this. I started to, but I ran out of welding gas, unfortunately. I welded in all the holes. So yeah, next up is paint the frame. I'm about to do that right now. So what we're gonna do is use the POR-15 product. First I'm gonna clean it with acetone, spray it with the metal prep, coat it with the POR-15. I'm gonna do 2 coats of this. I'll do one, and then about 2 hours later, 3 hours later, do another coat. And then tomorrow, top coat it with the top coat. And that's just clear. That's just to protect it so it doesn't fade. I'm gonna be using brushes. I wasn't sure what. I think I'm gonna use a brush. I'm either gonna use a brush or a roller. I figured I'd give a roller a shot. But yep, that's what I'm gonna get into now. Wish me luck. All right, so this is where we're at after the POR-15, the POR-15, all on. Turned out pretty nice. There is one small issue though. I must have, when cleaning the frame, missed a pocket of dust, sand, because if you look at it, such a shame. You can see the speckles in it. So unfortunate, but it looks really good. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Yeah, I mean, it looks so good. I'm so happy with it. It's too bad about the speckles, but whatever. Looks great, good enough for me. So we're gonna let this dry, and then I'll do another coat in about a couple hours. It's gonna be a pretty late night for me, but I definitely wanna get it done. It turned out pretty good. Unfortunately, I dropped them. I dropped one of these. Actually, I dropped two of them. Two of them broke from the thing that I was using to hold them up. Unfortunately, I didn't have them secured good enough, so I had to repaint one of them. But they turned out pretty good. I'm overall pretty happy with it. They're primed and painted. Hopefully they last a little bit of time anyways. But yeah, now I can finally start assembling the front end. This is what I was waiting on. All right, so what I'm gonna start doing next is install the front suspension, starting with the lower control arms, upper control arms, springs, shocks, the whole nine, and then get the rack and pinion in there, and hopefully get wheels back on it today and get it back on the ground. Yeah, so let's get into it. Boom, we're back. We're back. Just like that, the frame is completely painted. Started to put some components onto the frame, and yeah, man, finally got to sit it back on the ground for the first time in a long time. And it's just, man, I remember it was just so exciting to get to that point of the build. Like I said, when I got this truck initially, I've never really worked on cars. I mean, I did some minor things on my first vehicle, but like as far as a build like this, I'm going in completely blind. I have really nobody to even bounce ideas off of. I don't know anybody. I don't have any friends that do this. It's kind of just all me. So between poking around on the internet and just kind of figuring it out, I'm doing it all myself. So it's in hindsight, it's quite a insane task to take on right off the rip like this. Welding in a full-blown suspension system. I guess that's a little crazy and way out there, but yeah, I don't know. To me, I guess I just didn't really know how weird or crazy that was. So yeah, it definitely went for me. Yeah, so got the product on. Turned out pretty good, nice and shiny, looked beautiful, but as you can see, I accidentally got some of those speckles in it. Yeah, that stunk, but big whoop. I mean, now that once you have everything in there and you have the fenders on and things like that, you never even see that. So that's minor. Something that was a little bit frustrating, I will say, is now that we're a year and a half in the future, to speak to how this stuff has held up,
I don't really think this is what POR-15 is for. I didn't know that at the time. I just saw the product. I thought like, hey, this stops rust. And I'm gonna use it on a brand new fresh frame with zero rust. So that's what I did. It's holding up pretty well for the most part. I will say places where brake fluid has dripped on it for quite some time. I had a leaky, I did those bulkhead fittings through the frame. You could probably see at one frame. I don't even know if I showed it yet, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But I did these bulkhead fittings that went through the frame. And one of those fittings were leaking brake fluid. And holy smokes, man. Brake fluid will definitely do a number to POR-15 after a long time. So once it starts to peel, once it starts to get underneath there and break away from the frame, you can kind of peel it off like, you know, paint in a house, layers and layers of paint in a house, and it kind of peels off like that. But other than that one spot, not that big of a deal. I also think if you were to get brake fluid on it and you wipe it off within a handful of days, you're probably still fine. But I mean, that bulkhead fitting was leaking for a long time, so that was an issue. But other than that, I guess I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know if I would use it again, but at the same time, I don't really know what I would do differently. I guess I could just like paint the frame. But then again, I don't know. I guess I am okay. I am pretty happy with the product, so even on a fresh frame. So yeah, in the future, I'd love to tear everything off and powder coat the frame, obviously, but that ain't happening. So, but anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it's been so long since I got the last one out, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something, and yeah, until next time, see you.